Hey everyone, Lynn and Joseph with Saltmarsh Properties, and we are here for another video in our seller series. And this one is an exciting one because we're going to cover what to expect after you get a contract on your house. And what we want to do is just say, okay, what do the timelines look like? And then how do you get ready for closing and make sure that you're prepared when that day comes?
Yeah, so everything from the timelines of the contract to final walkthroughs, what you should leave behind, we've got you covered. We're going to go over that today.
Yeah, so let's talk about the timeline.
Okay, so your contracts are going to close in about 30 to 45 days. That's a general contract time frame if you're getting a mortgage, right? So let's just go with that and work off of that. During that time, you're going to be going through all the different things that your contract has specified. So you're going to be really heavy in with your, attorney, your loan officer, and your real estate agent, working through the contract, the financing, and then the actual closing documents and dates and times.
Yeah. And we'll keep in touch with you during that, assuming you're working with us or if you're working with an agent, they will keep in touch with you during all of that. But kind of here's a breakdown of what to expect. And the first one, honestly, that's probably the more nerve-wracking time would be repairs or inspections.
Yeah, I mean, you might be a seller who decides to get your inspections done ahead of time or figure out what's going on with the house. That's one thing. But no matter what, we always recommend to always get an inspection as a buyer's agent. So expect the inspection, then expect that there might be repairs or allowances introduced, certain things to work through, items of the house or issues of the house that you just weren't even aware of, and that's okay. Then there are going to be some re-inspections. They're called repair inspections. Anything that is done prior to the closing, be prepared for that third party to come back through and take a look to make sure it was done well.
Yeah, 100%. And one thing to think about while you're going through that is receipts. Get receipts, keep receipts, right? A lot of times the sellers will say, yeah, we'll get this done. And they assume that the buyer's just going to trust them. And we're finding more and more buyers, not only are they doing walkthroughs, they do want full receipts. A buyer with a good buyer's agent will be asking you for those as well. So make sure that you have those. And also make sure what your contract said, right? A lot of times in the contract, they're specifically requesting certain receipts, maybe even the type of contractor that's doing it, making sure that they're licensed and insured that's doing that as well. So you just want to be clear on that. The next is the fun part, right, is the packing and the moving prep, right? So closing day really shouldn't be your moving out day.
Correct.
That's a very controversial statement, right? And I know that we're trying to maximize the limited number of moves as well as money that you're spending, but quite frankly, as a seller, go ahead and prepare to be out on closing day, right? You do technically, according to the contract, own the home until the end of the business day, regardless of what time closing is. But let's be honest, you don't want to be worried about whether or not the buyer's got something coming up that day. Like, our recommendation is to be ready for the final walkthrough and the closing to happen on closing day. Now, understand that they will do a final walkthrough, right, which you'll cover here in a second. But that final walkthrough really is more of like a kind of a final thing, not just a re-inspection to make sure the house is in the condition they expected it.
Yeah, this is where a lot of expectations get a little askew. If the buyer's agent hasn't put in some sort of writing, go ahead and assume that they're assuming that all your stuff is going to be out, regardless of what you worked out. Now, I worked that out on the contract. However, as the seller, they're just double checking that a pipe hasn't burst, that everything is exactly as you said that it would be left. They're not going to be overlapping with you while you're grabbing boxes.
Yeah.
That's not how you want that day to go.
Right, 100%. And I love this. Someone said to me one time, is like, picture leaving the house like you're leaving a welcome note for the buyer.
Oh, yeah, good point.
You know, leave the house in a condition where you're welcoming the buyer home. So even if that is an organized house, right? Sweep, clean it. Sometimes they'll ask for professionally clean. Leave all of your garage door openers, any locks, any keys or anything that you have organized and just ready for them to move in, right? That's a big part of it.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we're here to make sure that you know what's coming when the minute that contract comes through. We're also here to make sure that we have set proper expectations with that buyer's agent, so you're not caught off guard with anything. And then just make sure that it's as seamless as possible so that your closing day goes super well, and then you can get that check hopefully and move on with the next chapter.
That's right. So if you have any more questions about it, or if you are confused on kind of what the process looks like, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to help in any way.